You're an empath. You can sense when something's not right. You are a person who sees the best in others, who wants to help and who wants to heal. You believe in second chances, and you are always willing to listen. But what if you're constantly being manipulated by psychological forces that are older than time itself? What if the person who is hurting you is playing a role that is deeply embedded in the collective unconscious, and you are playing a complementary role right along with them? This isn't just about a bad person, it's about a bad psychological dance, a tango where archetypes, not people, are pulling the strings. You are an emotional puppet, and someone else is pulling your strings without you even knowing it. You find yourself constantly trying to help people who don't want to be helped. You are the one who is always giving, the one who is always forgiving, and the one who is always exhausted. You feel like you're being used, but you can't figure out why. You blame yourself for not being able to fix them. You feel a profound sense of failure, a feeling that if you were just a little better, a little more loving, a little more patient, you could finally fix them. You're trying to win a game you didn't even know you were playing. Jung would say that manipulators often operate through powerful archetypes. These are universal patterns of behavior, images and symbols that are stored in the collective unconscious of all humanity. They are psychological blueprints for roles we play in the dramas of life. A person is not born a manipulator, but they become a person who is run by a manipulating archetype because it serves a subconscious need. By recognizing these archetypes, you can stop playing your part in the drama and the game will end. The manipulator's power comes from your unconscious agreement to play a complementary role. When you bring these archetypes into the light of consciousness, their power over you dissolves. You are no longer an unconscious puppet, you are a conscious witness. The reason these archetypes are so powerful is that they tap into our own deepest wounds and our own most profound needs. The victim archetype finds the rescuer archetype. The innocent archetype finds the nurturer archetype. The tyrant archetype finds the follower archetype. It is a psychological tango where two people, often unconsciously, find each other and play out a drama that is as old as time itself. The moment one person stops playing their role, the other person is forced to find a new dance partner, or, more importantly, to confront their own inner reality. Your job is not to fix them, your job is to stop dancing. Here are 4 archetypes that manipulate you and the psychological strategy you can use to disarm them. The victim. This archetype is a master of emotional manipulation. They constantly blame others for their problems and use their suffering to get your pity and attention. They are the person who has a new crisis every week, who never takes responsibility for their choices, and who is always looking for a savior. The victim archetype's ultimate goal is to keep you in the role of the rescuer, because as long as you are trying to save them, they don't have to confront their own powerlessness. The antidote to this is to stop being the rescuer. You can show compassion for their pain without taking on the responsibility of fixing it. A powerful response is, "I'm sorry you're going through that, and I know you have the strength to handle it." This is an act of empowering them, which is the last thing the victim archetype wants. The victim archetype is a psychological black hole. They unconsciously create the very situations they complain about. They will sabotage their own success, push away the very people who try to help them, and refuse to take responsibility for their own choices because their identity is wrapped up in being a victim. They get a sense of perverse power from their powerlessness, and they get a sense of control from their lack of control. By trying to save them, you are not helping them. You are affirming their identity and keeping them trapped in their own psychological prison. Your role is not to be a rescuer. Your role is to be a boundary setter. The innocent. This archetype is the person who pretends to be naive, helpless, and pure. They use their perceived innocence to get you to do things for them and to avoid facing the consequences of their actions. They will ask for help with a big, wide-eyed look and say, "Oh, I'm just not good with that stuff." They are a master of feigned incompetence. This archetype's ultimate goal is to get you to take responsibility for their life. They are a psychological black hole for your energy. The antidote to this is to refuse to do their work. You can respond with, I'm sure you can figure it out. I believe in you. This forces them to confront their own capabilities and stops you from being their emotional maid. The innocent archetype is a master of emotional blackmail. They will use your kindness against you, making you feel guilty for not helping them. But their innocence is not real. It is a mask for a deep-seated fear of responsibility. They are terrified of growing up, of facing the challenges of the world, and of making their own choices. By constantly helping them, you are enabling them to stay in their state of perpetual childhood. The most loving thing you can do for them, and for yourself, is to stop enabling their helplessness and force them to find their own power. The Tyrant. This archetype uses their power and control to dominate you. They use fear, intimidation, and threats to get what they want. They are the person who raises their voice, who uses sarcasm as a weapon, or who makes passive-aggressive comments to make you feel small. Their ultimate goal is to get you to shrink and to obey their will. This is a person who has not integrated their own shadow, so they project their repressed anger and aggression onto you. The antidote to this is to refuse to shrink. You don't have to fight them, you just have to hold your ground. You can respond with calm, non-emotional language. I don't respond to that tone. You are asserting your own boundary without engaging in their fight. The tyrant archetype is not a person who is strong. They are a person who is terrified of their own powerlessness. Their need to control everything and everyone around them is a compensation for their own profound sense of inner chaos. They are terrified of losing control, because if they do, they will be forced to confront their own deep-seated fear and insecurity. By refusing to shrink, you are not just setting a boundary, you are exposing their weakness. You are showing them that their power is an illusion and that your inner strength is more powerful than their external control. The Scapegoat. This archetype is a person who projects their own unowned shame and failures onto you. They make you feel like you are the problem, so they don't have to face their own inner demons. They are the one who will blame you for their bad day, their financial problems, or their unhappiness. This archetype's ultimate goal is to offload their own internal mess onto you, making you the container for their shadow. The antidote is to recognize this psychological game and refuse to accept their projection. A powerful response is, "That's not my responsibility." You are not a human trash can for their unhealed wounds. The scapegoat archetype is a master of deflection. They cannot stand to look at their own flaws, so they find a flaw in you and make you the focus of their inner turmoil. They will subtly, and sometimes not so subtly, blame you for every problem in their life. By refusing to accept their projection, you are not just setting a boundary, you are forcing them to look at their own mess. You are saying, "Your shame is not my shame. Your guilt is not my guilt." You are reclaiming your own sense of self-worth from their psychological garbage. By recognizing these archetypes, you are no longer a pawn in a game you didn't even know you were playing. This is the journey from unconscious entanglement to conscious freedom. You can have compassion for the person without participating in their drama. You can see the archetype, not the person. This is an act of profound self-love, and it is the first step on the path to becoming a master of your own life. This is the psychological journey of becoming a conscious witness. You are no longer an active participant in their drama. You are a person who is watching the play from the audience. You can see the archetypes at work. You can see the patterns. You can see the unhealed wounds. You are no longer emotionally invested in the outcome of the play. You are simply a person who is there to observe and to learn. This is the ultimate form of emotional freedom. With this new conscious awareness comes a profound responsibility. You can no longer be a naive victim. Now that you can see the strings, you are tasked with the heroic act of cutting them. This doesn't mean becoming cold or heartless. It means choosing, with conscious intention, not to participate in a dance that is draining your life force. This is the mark of true psychological maturity, the ability to have compassion for the suffering of others while refusing to make it your own. The freedom that comes from this conscious non-participation is your greatest reward. By refusing to play a role, you are freeing yourself from the drama and creating a sacred space for authentic relationships to enter your life. You are no longer a puppet in someone else's play. You are the master of your own life. the director of your own story, and the sole sovereign of your own psychological kingdom. The greatest act of compassion is not to save them, but to save yourself. Comment Archetype if you are ready to see the truth.